There's a massive lag, by the way, so anytime I say something, it takes a little while for it to get caught up. Alrighty, here we go. 24 people watching. That's pretty big. Oh god. Obviously not anything to do with tabletop roleplay. Oh yeah, cool. Cool. 200, did you say? Of course it is. Hello everyone, I muted the wrong... Welcome to Three Skulls Tavern, a channel devoted to tabletop role-playing games by Free League Publishing. This show is sponsored by WorldMill, online server hosting for the Foundry Virtual Tabletop. To support the show, head over to patreon.com/MattK. For a minimum of $2 per month, you get access to a ton of extra content. Hello, welcome to Three Skulls Tavern. I'm Matt, your host, and before I bring the rest of the players on board, I just wanted to quickly introduce this new mini-campaign limited series we've been calling it, of the One Ring 2nd Edition. Now, if any of you have backed the Kickstarter, you will have seen the alpha set of the rules, which is what we're using. Hopefully, we'll be getting the full set of the rules and the starter set soon. Certainly, while we're hopefully while we're still running this new series. So it's just something to kind of bear in mind. At the moment, we're not using anything from like the starter set or anything like that because we don't have it. But when that does drop, we may actually start using the starter set for this game. When we do that, if we do that, we will definitely let you know at the beginning of any videos that that's going to be the case. So if you're planning to play in it, we're not going to end up spoiling the story for you. That's all I really wanted to say. I'm very excited to introduce the rest of our players. Let me bring them on board and give me 1 second and unmute them all. There we go. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, hey.
So I guess we could just quickly go around and introduce ourselves, and then we can start talking about the game. And the idea actually behind this first video as well, this first episode, is to do almost like a treat it like a convention game almost. So we're going to do a little bit of a kind of a mini condensed session 0. We'll talk through safety tools and that sort of thing before we get started. Talk about the premise of the game together as a group. And then we'll actually start playing as well in this episode. So we're calling it episode 1 because hopefully we'll get through most of that in about 30 minutes or so ish. But yeah, let's have a little go through, go around the table. I'm talking already, so I'll start, and then we'll go up the up the overlay video from me. So I'll say who's next so that you all know on Zoom, because it's obviously in a different order. I'm Matt. I am the host of this channel, and I basically have been role-playing since the 90s, and I've played a little bit of the first edition of The One Ring, actually with Martin, who's going to be next in the queue. Not much of it, but just a little bit of it. It was very fun, so I'm actually really excited to be playing this new edition, and with Martin again, because I've not played a lot with Martin, but that was one of my experiences with him.
It was fun, yeah.
And I'm going to be playing Tobold Hornblower. We'll talk about our characters in a little bit, but that's me, I guess. So up to Martin.
Hi. You might have seen me on the Kickstarter, since I'm one of the project leads for the One Ring second edition. I had to kind of jump on the chance to actually play it since there's been a lot of developments and editing and all kinds of stuff. And then Matt came, and actually Charlotte came and invited me, so I had to, get a chance to play Hobbit. Well, yes, thank you. And unfortunately, we can't actually run the proper starter set quite yet, but you might see a few sneak peeks here and there from it. So yeah, that's some fun. And of course, I've been playing role-playing games since the 80s, basically. And The One Ring, of course, grabbed that as soon as it was released and just became a fan from the get-go. So it's fun to be able to bring the second edition to all of you guys. And of course, this time I'm going to be playing Odo Twofoot, which is kind of a little goody two shoes, maybe. I kind of want to stand up for others and make sure things are going rightly, and it's one of those guys. And it's going to be fun to hobbit around here in Hobbiton.
Okay, Ed's next.
Hi, I'm Ed. Pretty much like the others, I've been role-playing since the 80s sometime. I remember the old MERP version of Lord of the Rings. Somewhere in my bookshelf, I've still got it. So it'd be really nice to actually play this. I didn't play the original One Ring, so this would be really nice to see what it's like. And I've tried to not look at the rules, so I can kind of learn along with you guys. So that's quite fun. I'm going to be playing Falco Goodbody, who is, I guess, like a sheriff kind of type of character. Should be quite fun. I look forward to playing him. And I get to, play with Charlotte, who I haven't played with for a while, so it's always good.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was just figuring this out the other day. I've been playing with Charlotte for 3 years now?
3 years.
3.5, maybe, coming up to 3.5 years. No, 3 years-ish. No, coming up to 4 years now, actually, possibly.
Yeah.
Anyway. Charlotte's never been a GM, so anyway, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, I was going to say it'd be really nice to actually have her do all the work, and I can just sit around and just worry about one player or one character for a bit.
Yeah.
That's me done.
Cool. Thanks, Ed. And Amber, you're next.
I'm Amber. I'm going to be playing Barilla Hornblower. I kind of have definitely not been doing this since the 80s, 90s, or even early 2000s. So this is very new to me. I've only dabbled in this probably a couple episodes with my both real life brother, Matt, who in this game will also be Barilla's brother. But Matt, I think, made some games that my brother and I played with him. So I've had very, very little exposure. So I'm excited to be sort of a test person for all of this, and also just enjoy playing with everybody, and kind of, probably have a lot of questions as I go along here, but I feel like I'm in good hands. And yeah, Barilla's, my character is kind of a messenger character, so a lot of familiarity and interest in travel and singing and that kind of thing.
Cool. Just before
Seems
we
a bit
nip over,
unhealthy for a hobbit, I think.
What's that?
It seems a bit unhealthy for a young hobbit, I
Yeah.
think. Just, singing is
Yes.
fine, but travel, I don't know. Let's
yeah.
stay here. Yeah.
I just realized one thing I didn't mention before we jump to Charlotte is this channel. One of the big things, one of the themes of this channel is that we don't aim for sort of like acting like some actual play channels do. We've always been very keen on explaining the rules as we go. So we're still telling a story, we're still role playing, but we will slow the game down to explain the rules so people can actually learn the rules as we play. And because of that, that's why, even though I know Ed is a very experienced role player, he did ask me, should I read the rules? And I did say to him, actually, it'd be nice if you didn't read the rules, because then it will force us to slow down and to explain things as we go. Because a lot of you watching, I know, won't have read the rules, and or you may have, but I'm assuming a lot of people won't have. And this way, or if you have read it, maybe you might be struggling with seeing how it's implemented exactly. And that way, it's just going to help, hopefully, you learn the game while you're watching it being run. So, over to Charlotte.
Hey, thanks, Matt. So for those of you who have been here before, you know who I am. The betrayer, the backstabber. Now I get my chance to GM on this channel. This is not my first time GMing. I have done it on my own channel before and in conventions and for friends and stuff like that, but it's also my first time playing the One Ring, even though I have the entire One Ring set, first edition, sitting on the shelf behind me. Just the stars have never aligned, haven't been able to get a bunch of people together at any given time. And I'm kind of glad I waited, because I'm not going to have anything to unlearn with the new game. So as we are guiding our players through this game for the first time, and Amber through a tabletop role-playing game period for the first time, I'm running the One Ring for the first time. And I have done some skimming through the rules, but pretty much like everyone else here for this edition, I am new to it, so we're all gonna be learning together, which I think is kind of helpful to even see it from a GM's perspective, because now, well, yeah, there are some exceptions in the room, but getting started brand new to this, you're not having a misconception that everybody is kind of brand new. So if I'm running it for the first time, you get to see how I'm going to be working through some of this and how we as a team are going to be addressing the game itself. Truth be told, I kind of made up what we're going to be doing for hopefully the next 2 sessions in the last hour and a half to 2 hours. It's my signature move. I am not preparing for this.
No pressure.
Yeah.
How many people are watching? Yeah,
we've suddenly go down to 2. What?
Yeah, and I'm looking for improv classes here locally to take to kind of help me with this kind of stuff. But I feel the way that we are going to have this laid out today, how we're going to approach the adventure and learning the game, that's okay. Yeah. One thing I tend to do when I run my games is I put some of the heavy lifting on the players. So if we're coming up to an NPC for the first time, I'm not the one that's creating their names. You are. So it's going to be heavily driven by the players themselves. I'm going to be more of an adjudicator for a lot of the stuff and taking over the adversaries. So it's a little bit of world building with the players as well, not just running everybody through a set, solid storyline where it's very railroady. While it is going to be somewhat railroady, you might not feel like it because you have some say in all of this. But yeah, thank you everybody for coming out today and checking out our first session, and I'm eager to get this going and see where the road takes us.
I guess the only one last thing to mention, because you can't see it right now on the stream, but we are going to be using Foundry, which is a virtual tabletop. There won't be any official premium module support for this game in Foundry due to licensing issues, but there is an experimental the One Ring 2nd edition game module, like a fan module, which we will be using. It is mostly stable, but it's still in development. So we'll be showing that in a minute. I just don't want people to get too distracted by looking at a map and all the rest of it while we're doing some of the safety talks and stuff like that. So yeah. There's link. I think I've got a link in the description for Foundry as well if you're interested in kind of checking it out. I think I've got one. Yeah, there's a link to it there. Okay, that's me just kind of mentioning that before I forget.
Awesome.
So I guess we're gonna do some like safety talk, right? Stuff.
Yeah. So once again, I would like to welcome everybody to Whose Hobbit Is This Anyway? Right. So there is a little bit of a conversation that we're going to have right off the start. It is Matt came across it about a month ago, and we were talking about it a little bit. It's an acronym called CATS. So with this, we're going to go through the concept, the aim of the game, the tone that we're going to try and portray, as well as any subject matter that may be a little uncomfortable to some players and or viewers.
Like no second breakfasts.
Oh my god.
What? I'm out.
Sorry. Yeah. Second breakfasts are optional, actually.
Okay.
No.
Maybe for you. You're not playing a Hobbit. Cool.
Fair. All right, so let's start with the concept. So the concept that I've worked out for this game here is you are going to be tasked with taking care of a problem that one of the townsfolk has. We're not going to get too much into that problem right now, but it's going to be a little bit of a mix of some traveling, because I believe there are some specific travel rules in the rules themselves. And then there's going to be a little bit of social, not conflict, but social situations where we'll be able to get the players rolling the dice a little bit. And then there's going to be some combat, hopefully at the end of the adventure, which may bleed into our second session, which is okay by me. Like we were saying before, we're going to try and walk through the rules a little bit slower, make sure that we have a good understanding of what's going on and that the people who are watching have a good understanding. If at any point anybody who's watching live has any questions about the rules that we've just gone through and if we need to go through some clarification, let us know in the chat. I am not going to be watching the chat, but I'm going to have Matt watching for me. And when we get to a point where we need to clarify something, when we have a natural break to do so, we will go forward and try and explain what's going on. And if we have to have a quick little discussion as to how the rule set works in certain situations, then that's what we're going to do, all in the name of learning. So the aim of the game is, or I guess the aim of this session as we go through them, is to delight and entertain the players in the audience while walking through the rules of the One Ring 2nd Edition by Free League, which is kind of how this channel is set up to be. So we're well within our mission statement here. For the tone of the game, I typically like to play a little bit more serious games, the odd little light-hearted moments. And honestly, I prefer to play a little bit more dramatically over action, as you may have seen in some of the other games that Matt, Ed, and myself have been a part of. I'm going to turn it over to the other 4 players here to see what they have in mind for the type of tone that they would like to see in a game like this. So let's start from the top up this time, and I think that is Amber, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
when going into a game like this, what do you hope to be able to play tone wise? Do you want to have something where you're able to be a jokester or kind of be the person who's talking to people more, being a little bit more of the social aspect?
I imagine just based on my real life experience, it might mean that my character is a little more muted or observant at the beginning, but I envision that my character is someone who's used to being very social, delivering messages, traveling, things like that. So it might take a sort of natural progression of being someone a little more in the background who kind of comes up to the foreground. And yeah, as far as kind of like serious or dark versus lighthearted, I'm totally open. I kind of let the others weigh in on what they're looking for.
All right, so then we'll move to the next on the list, which is Ed.
I'm quite easy, so I'm happy to just go sort of like middle of the road, and then occasionally when it gets dark, get a bit dark. but you know, we're hobbits, so I'm guessing we're going to be quite happy and lighthearted and whistling and a bit of singing, I'm sure.
Maybe at the start.
Maybe at the start, but we'll be sort of like a complete wreck by the end of it, maybe. Who knows? Right, so we're not going to Mordor, right? Just want to double check.
Wow.
What was
Yeah.
your character's name again?
Fro something. No, yeah, so I'm quite easy to. I'll happily go wherever the story takes us.
Perfect. And what about you, Martin?
Yeah, I'm. I'd say more or less the same. Of course, I mean, at least so far, we are hobbits in the Shire, which is kind of is setting a bit of a tone already. But of course, I know that Charlotte might have something stuck up her sleeve. But yeah, I'm pretty much open for whatever you feel like going to. Although I will be making silly voices and making silly decisions, but that's just Odo for you.
Perfect. And then Matt.
I mean, when I wanted this actual play to happen on the channel, I was very much pushing that we played an all Hobbit group. So for me, the thing about the Hobbits is that they're kind of this lighthearted, easy go, you know, like no care in the world type of people, very down to earth. They like their pipeweed, etc. But I kind of view the hobbits in this setting like mice in something like Mouse Guard or something else, and that is once they get out into the big wide world, yeah, it's better to hide and to stay invisible and not let the big bad things out there, including people, take advantage or kill you. So I'm kind of expecting it to start off kind of lighthearted and very sociable as we're kind of pottering around in the Shire. And then I'm kind of hoping it goes a bit darker as we as we get up to trouble, or as we find ourselves getting into trouble of some description or another. I'm also playing a character who's very much in his tweens. I guess we'll be talking about this in a minute. But I'm playing a character who is inquisitive by nature, is also in his tweens, so he's very young, and he's also extremely bad at combat. So this kind of came up with a random roll for my attributes, but I'm quite happy with it. I'm quite happy with the concept. So I kind of can see myself putting the entire party into potentially dangerous positions and then situations, and then expecting everybody else to watch my back. But yeah, that's I mean, theme wise, I guess I'm really just thinking about it starting off lighthearted and then getting darker as we go.
A gradual descent into darkness.
Yeah.
Hobbit style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just gonna do something here quickly.
Does that align with kind of what
maps.
you're thinking as well, Charlotte?
I think so. Yeah, I don't want to go too dark with this, but
Yeah.
at the same time, we want to be able to have a little bit of strife and conflict to see how the combat system works. I mean, if we want a happy-go-lucky game, we can do it.
I mean, there's also, I think, worth noting that there's a mechanic called Shadow in this game, and it's absolutely. I mean, Sauron and his minions are a part of the universe, and it can get relatively dark.
Yeah.
So, like, we're kind of playing into the game's themes itself by having it go dark, but we'll be the shining beacon of second breakfasts at the core.
Can I ask really quickly? I think, Matt, you had mentioned, just in case we reference other characters from the the Hobbit storyline. This takes place after the Hobbit book, right? The Desolation of
It takes place,
Smaug.
yeah, between the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings. Yep.
Okay.
There's like
Yeah.
I don't know how many year gap, like 80 years
40?
or something. 40? Oh.
60.
Yeah. Yeah. And it depends on how exact you want to go with these things, and it kind of depends on what Charlotte's had in mind. And of course, I mean, again, the starter set is actually earlier than the core, or the adventures in the starter set are earlier than the core rules. So just so you can play the different fathers and
Relatives of famous people. Yeah.
yeah.
a lot of times when it comes to different ages and years, I don't get too caught up on them, even though there could be some huge swings in the plot depending on when stuff happens. But yeah, we're going to be somewhere in between The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. So you may come across some characters that you know from Lord of the Rings that might just be younger versions of themselves. So who knows where Farmer Maggot might pop up.
It's worth mentioning that my character was originally going to be called Otho Hornblower, and then I decided to change it at the last minute because Odo and Otho are a little bit too close together. And I just looked up, I just Googled, like, just before this stream started, Hornblower. So I was like, if somebody asks about the Hornblower crew, like where they come from, etc. And I just read that Old Toby, the really famous tobacco, is named after Tobold Hornblower.
Yeah, the first one to bring.
So like, great! I just randomly selected these two names, and it's a very, very famous, like one of the most famous hobbits in the entire Middle Earth. So I'm named after him. Obviously, I'm not him. Anyway, just talking about lore. Yeah. Anyway, like we can go really deep with lore. I don't think any of us are planning on doing that. I certainly don't plan on doing that. Amber, you don't need to worry about. Yeah, just you've read The Hobbit, so just think this takes place after The Hobbit. Frodo is maybe a baby. Maybe he's not been born yet. I don't know.
No, he hasn't been born. Well, yeah. Again, depending on, but yeah, he's not born.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we're going to leave that aspect a little fluid. That way, we're not getting tied into anything. If we do somewhere down the line do an extended campaign, then that could be a possibility to get into like something that's very canonical to the storyline and history. But that is not what we're doing today. Right, so next up on our cats, we have, where'd it go? There's, that was tone. Now we have subject matter. So this is where we get into a little bit of a conversation about safety tools when we're playing tabletop role-playing games. There are many ways that we can do this. We can have people just say, hey, I gotta step away for a second. This is getting a bit real. There's that. If you're okay with that method, you can type in our in-game chat that we have on our Zoom call to say, hey, you know what? Kind of uncomfortable with where this is going. Can we make a switch? We'll take a second or two to kind of pause, collect ourselves, and then reshift where we're going with this.
Can I just quickly interrupt there? Let's not use the Zoom chat because every time it's used, it pops up on the actual overlay.
Yeah.
Like Martin's message right now. Actually, if I open it. No. So let's not, if we can not use the, actually it's not popping up. Never mind, it's not popping up. We're good. Never mind.
Perfect.
I just can't read it.
I
just can't read it. I can't.
Yeah,
actually, I can't. Okay, we're all good. Sorry, I apologize. I apologize.
Oh, no worries. Technology changes. We can even go as far as if you really need to step away, send us a message, say, be right back, turn your camera off, turn your mic off, and walk away. Even if you don't want to type something and you need to get up and walk away, go for it. When we notice that, we will pause. We'll wait until the person has come back, and we may go to a please hold session of the stream for a second for us to be able to discuss what's going on the back end. One of the topics that we're going to be covering, well, not topics, one of the adversaries that you may come across in the course of the session are rats. So does anybody have issues with rats?
Nope.
Love them.
You're looking
Bigger
at
the better.
You're looking at 3 Woofrit players or GMs here,
Yeah.
so no issues.
Perfect. And while people do have rats for pets and they are cute when they're pets, we're not going out of our way to have any kind of animal harm happen in this game. We're not going to be going into descriptives to how the enemies are dispatched. If you, by some miracle, come across ponies that you want to use in the course of the game, you can safely leave them at the entrance of anywhere you go, and they will not be dead upon your return. I'm not down for animal abuse, even in our games. And same with child abuse and stuff like that. I don't foresee us having any kids or any kid characters in the game. So that shouldn't be an issue.
I think that's just something I should probably say for the channel in general is like child cruelty or sexual violence doesn't happen on this channel. So on any of the episodes, so that definitely won't be happening. If you partake in it as a player, you won't be invited back. But that's a line that does not get crossed, just because obviously this is a public video and a lot of people. Well, and I don't particularly want to go through that myself either, but obviously it's an issue with a lot of people. So, yeah.
I typically think that some of those themes that can be covered don't need to be in games that we play, but everyone has their own type of game that they want to play. We are stating where we are now on this one. So is there anything that anybody wants to make mention of for things that we want to avoid as a group? Any sensitive topics that we might not know of off the top of our head, because this is the first time that I'm playing with both Amber and Martin. Matt, Ed, myself went through a pretty sizable session 0 when we did the Cult Divinity Lost podcast, where we got into some pretty heavy stuff because that game can get pretty heavy. We
each did a questionnaire, like literally going through our personal fears and limits and all that sort of stuff. It was intense. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, but I feel that it made for a better game because we knew where we wanted to go. So for something like this, we're playing a little bit of a shorter game, so a big 20-question questionnaire isn't as necessary. So that's why we're having a conversation now. So is there anything that anybody wants to say nope to right off the very start?
Nope.
I think you covered it, yeah.
Perfect. As we go through the game, if anything does happen to pop up, just let us know in one of the methods that we mentioned earlier, or even on our Discord channel that we have set up for the game, and we can deal with it as it goes. And actually, speaking of which, I should probably set myself to not available so I don't get random pings.
Well, while you do that, I'm just going to close my door here. I hear the neighbors out next door. I don't want it to come through.
Okay.
Sure. All right, so I guess while we're getting geared up, ready to go, is there any questions from chat going into the game that they would like to have answered before we start? We'll give the customary 7 seconds before the video catches up.
What you wish for, Charlotte.
While that's happening, should I open, or waiting, should I open the Foundry thing?
Yeah, let's get that going.
Someone's asked is going to stay at PG.
PG. We might swear, so I would say no. This channel is, like all of the videos are marked as not suitable for children. We usually swear in most of our games, so I guess it's something we haven't sworn yet. We can try and say that. I don't know if I can control myself. I mean, I'm playing a young hobbit, so I don't see it necessarily being in character to swear. We can try and keep it that way, but I don't want to try and say that it's going to be like that. In terms of things like violence, like there could be some quite violent scenes later on in this series. So it just depends what you consider. People have different things on what they consider to be PG and not. There shouldn't be any sexual content. There might be some swearing. There might be some violence.
Violence.
Yeah.
And by default, if Tybalt is going to be swearing, his little sister Barilla is going to be learning and saying the same things he is to be just as cool as him. So just going to follow Tybalt's lead there.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some questions coming up. So that was the first one. The second one is, does shadow points affect the bad guys positively? We'll get into that actually when shadow points come into play. But more or less, bad mechanics for the players tend to be good mechanics for the forces of darkness. So we'll get into that when shadow comes up. Shadow's probably not going to come up in the first couple of sessions, I would imagine, as we're just meant to be pottering around the Shire. But we'll see. Bona asks, where can we find the map? The map is part of... it's not actually available to the public yet, I don't think.
Yeah, that's one of the little sneak peeks you can get.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen the map. Everyone has been following the Kickstarter has seen the map, but maybe not in this size. Although we have shown quite a few cutouts. But yeah, I mean, feast your eyes. You'll you'll see it soon, but for yourself. But for now, we can at least show you a little sneak peek here.
Yeah, as said before, Martin is the Free League project lead on this game, so he's shared a little bit with us, like some of the artwork you can see on the tokens and the map. But yeah. So let's quickly see if there's any other ones. Everyone's saying the map looks awesome. Fenor saying he hasn't heard anyone swear on the channel. He watches a lot of our streams. There's been a lot of swearing, I can guarantee.
What are we looking at session-wise?
How many sessions are we shooting for?
5, I think.
Yeah, there's a hard limit. So basically, my wife is pregnant and is due at the beginning of December, and we're planning on this running every other week. So every 2 weeks, we're gonna have another episode, and we're planning on running 5, which should take us to the beginning of November. And I don't want to really run much past that in case the baby drops a bit early. It's our second child as well, so yeah. And
I have those dates posted in chat now.
Thank you. Oh, that was very handy. So that's what we're planning on, and that's got a pretty hard limit on when it's going to end. Okay.
Cool.
Thanks. Yeah. Okay.
Right, so let's get into it then.
Mm-hmm.
Figure out how to play this crazy game. Oops, no, I don't want to do that. Sorry, I'm used to working on Foundry on like the back end. Using it on the front end's a little bit new to me. I know theoretically what things do, it's just making it work. All right, so let's go into the characters a little bit, to the extent of how do you know each other?
Yeah,
that's a good question.
Discuss. All right, so here, you know what? Let's take a different approach. Let's go to our little dice rolly and go see if this works. All right, so that is a 3. So going up on our overlay.
Me? What?
That would be Ed, I think.
Okay, yeah, it says Tobold and then Martin. So
yeah. No, that's because I have your token highlighted.
Oh right, yeah.
That was a mistake.
No worries.
Well, it says Matt for me as well, and it says lore helper for the dice thingy. It's just saying our own names. So anyway.
Weird. Yeah, it's got lore master.
Yeah,
and Tobald for mine.
Oh, cool.
Anyway, 3. That means Martin
Ed.
or Odo. Oh, Ed.
Me? What? Who? What?
I'll
Where?
start
How?
I was looking at from the bottom up.
Oh, right.
You're right.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we saved the best for last when we were going through our original player walkthrough, so I figured
keep the same.
Keep it that way.
All right. Clockwise from you, right? Anyway.
Yes.
Sorry.
Clocks.
Hold on. Wait. Which? Yeah. Sorry. So yeah, Ed.
Yeah.
All right. What do you want?
All right. Okay, so tell us a little bit about your character. Who are you? Who is Falco?
Falco, not Falco. So Falco, what is he? He is a warden of the Shire. Wardens of the Shire, it's my own little spin on this, kind of keeps the roads clear, makes sure that there's no do-wells kind of like kicking around or wandering through. Keep an eye out on what's going on in and around the farthings. I tend to get called out to really important things like badgers getting too close to chicken coops, occasionally patrolling boundaries of the farthings where someone may or may not have seen a wolf, which turns out to be, one of the farmer's dogs. I've seen many strange things over my good 10, 15 years as a warden of the Shire. Things like, chickens with 3 feet, or the occasional Longshanks who's kind of like wandered in drunk from Brie and decided to spend the evening and the morning either on one of the main roads or in one of the local sheriff's crops. Important stuff like that. As such, I picked up numerous amounts of skills. Things like, when I'm bored, I whittle wood. When I need to get people to move stuff, I shout them. I've managed to traipse around most of Shire in one way or another. I do quite like spending time wandering out of Hobbiton, which is where I'm originally from. And that allows me to interact with all sorts of strange folk. And of course, the good folk of the Shire. So he's kind of part sheriff, part troubleshooter, but
I like it.
But mostly, what I do get to do is wander around the Shire, eating as much food as I can, getting as much drink as I can, and that's pretty much how I get paid.
Perfect job for a hobbit.
Pretty much. There isn't really much to do. I think in the 15 years that I've done the job, I've probably had to sort of like shoot at a badger once or twice. I've had to kind of like chase off a couple of mangy sort of like prairie dogs. That's pretty much, the kind of like epic quest stuff that my guy's done. But as such, I'm quite well known around the whole Shire, and I do know a load of people. And yeah, that's pretty much me. I tell people off, especially the kids, for stealing farmer maggots' crops, that kind of stuff.
Right, yeah. But just now it's just me, my like lore brain going like, and are you like one of the sheriffs? Is Hobbiton? Oh, no, I mean the Shire has actually sheriffs doing these kind of things, or more like like I don't know, some kind of different kind of volunteer, like doing a little bit of your own thing.
Auxiliary.
Yeah. So the sheriffs are the ones with the actual authority.
Oh right. Okay. So
and they kind of get us to do the kind of the dull stuff.
Yeah.
So the sheriffs pretty much do the important things, and we kind of do the things like chasing badgers away from chicken coops.
All right. Okay.
But I get a shiny, nice little tabard, which kind of has my tabard of authority from the Shire. That's pretty much what I get out of it, and I can say that I can, I'm a member of the Wardens. That's pretty much it.
Like a special club for those who can become sheriffs, maybe.
Maybe.
We don't talk about that here now.
Not before your 88th birthday, anyway. So maybe this is like the Boy Scouts, like leading up to the sheriffs, because you're quite young and you're in your 40s.
I'm in 40s, yeah. So I've done it since I was pretty much probably came of age ish, maybe. So maybe I might be about 45, maybe. Yeah, maybe 45.
Do you still wear the honorary sheriff sticker that they put on
yeah,
you?
Yeah, I've got this very nice kind of bright yellow and orange tabard that's got sort of like the little symbol of the Shire. Just to blend in with the for the foliage. You can't see me during fall at all.
Perfect. All right, so on this day, you're walking down the road, and the day itself is overcast. It's, we'll say, a few hours past morning, kind of going out for your morning rounds, and the air is a little on the crisp side still. The sun hasn't fully had a chance to burn the dampness of the morning away. As you're walking down this cobble road, you're coming into Bywater. So on both sides of you, you see the hobbit holes, the houses, smoke coming from the chimneys. What would you say is bringing you into town today?
Pies.
Pies?
Pies. Bywater has a very nice pie shop.
Perfect. What's it called?
Pie by the Water.
That's now canon.
They do a very nice blueberry pie.
Oh, I was assuming meat pies, but yeah.
No. A nice blueberry pie, which is really good for sort of second breakfast.
Wouldn't it be the dessert after your second breakfast?
Maybe.
Like
it's the snack between
final
second
part,
breakfast.
the final part of your second breakfast.
Yeah, well, I've had to walk from Hobbiton to Bywater, so I've built up a little bit of an appetite.
Yeah. Oh, so a starter for your second breakfast.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm coming in here, and I've got to stop past. I don't know. One of them. Someone said that there's some trouble. I don't know what the trouble is, but I'm going to come in once I've had my pie, of course.
Perfect. All right. Does anybody want to go next?
I think maybe the siblings.
Yeah.
I mean, I could jump in if the siblings want to come in last, as maybe the troublemakers. Who knows?
I've got an idea for the two of us. If I can jump in and you can go last.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Yeah. No. Go ahead.
So I can see like Tobold and Barilla coming up from the South Farthing, being sent, which is kind of the Hornblower territory, and we've been sent to Bywater to buy some pies. For dinner, and or dinner being supper. I don't know, however the hobbits call this sort of like lunch meal, and luncheon. There you go. And so we're off to pick up a big batch of pies, and I guess I don't want to speak for Amber, for Barilla, but I'll have a pipe. It's not actually on my character sheet. It's just a simple pipe, but I don't actually enjoy smoking pipeweed. However, I have been named after the infamous, the famous, the well-respected old Toby, and therefore I consider it as I'm a young hobbit, and I just have to learn. I just have to crack this nut. I'm not anywhere near trying to blow smoke rings like old Bilbo or anything like that. It's just I just have to get past the revulsion of the taste of this pipeweed in my mouth. And I am smoking Old Toby, of course, as well, because we grow it in our family. And so that's me. I'm kind of puffing away at this, like furiously at this pipe, trying to enjoy it, as we're kind of walking up from the South Farthing with my sister Barilla.
And I think Barilla really enjoys kind of tagging along wherever her older brother goes, and likes to relay her observations through song often. And when I don't know how the messenger role will plan, or but I imagine that the couple of tasks that she's been given as a messenger in the past, she tends to put her own spin on the message. So maybe it's not 100% delivered accurately, but she's a little generous with her creativity and her imagination and interpretation of what really the original message was meant to be. So some of this might come through in kind of tagging along with Tobold and observing all that we're going through, kind of transitioning from just observing Tobold in her own little life to whatever adventures come our way. She might be, whether through talk or song, just translating what's happening before us in her own interpretation.
Enhancing things maybe now and then. Yeah.
You said your big brother. I do actually wanted to touch on this a bit because you have the highest strength score out of anybody in this party, yet you're the youngest. You have a 6. I have the lowest with a 2. So even though I might be your big brother by 2 years, I imagine I'm not a very physical specimen. I'm kind of weedy and small, even for a hobbit.
Yes.
So I imagine that you got, like, you know the movie Twins with Danny DeVito and Schwarzenegger? I kind of see it like, maybe not quite that of a discrepancy, but, like standing next to each other, everyone would assume that you're my senior by probably like 5 to 10 years.
I see. Even though I'm actually 2 years younger, but I could see you. Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
So how does that like high strength score, which is like your physicality, how does that manifest itself with your character? Are you strong? Are you like big boned and just like big for a hobbit, or like how does that manifest? I'm just trying to like get a picture of your character a bit.
Yeah, I think the strength shows up more in endurance. So I'm very gifted with travel, and so I think I have a lot of I guess we'll call long-term strength as opposed to immediate brute force.
Okay. You've got massive
and
calves.
maybe I just calves and thighs for days,
All right.
Very.
Every day's a leg day.
It's like the tree trunks from the elven forests.
Okay.
Underneath my torso.
But also, I think it's worth mentioning that the strength attribute isn't only just like physical strength, but also just general physicality. So, I mean, I think it's especially fine if you're just very, your endurance and you never give up, and I don't know, the kind of stuff.
I kind of saw it like when I was reading the rules, I kind of saw it like thinking of medieval peasants, kind of, that they are like always, if you have a high strength score, it just means like you're, like Martin just said, you're a very physical person. Like you're used to being out and like using your hands a lot and kind of
you don't tire
just
easily.
doing lots of things. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, cool. I think my character identifies more with that than brute, the Arnold Schwarzenegger character.
So over to Odo. It sounds like some characters are converging on a pie shop.
Yeah, I think what's happening is that you're all coming from different directions, maybe to the pie shop, and you can see there's like a small, it's not a big congregation, but still like 3, 4, 5 hobbits standing in a ring, looking at someone, and in the middle you can kind of see this middle-aged, well, not for a hobbit really, young middle-aged, he's like 45, he's standing there, but like, no, yes, yeah. Okay, if you really want to hear it, I'll tell you again. It was, when I was young, and I was out in the North Moors, and that's where I saw it, the troll. And I kind of regale everyone about my story about seeing a troll when I was a kid. And I think maybe, Falco's probably heard it before, and he knows that every time the troll gets slightly bigger, teeth get slightly longer, and maybe the first time the troll wasn't really that much bigger than to us, maybe just, like human-sized maybe, but it could be in a small troll. But now, of course, the troll is massive, huge, and we had a fight, and I drove it off, and that's kind of what I've been living on for like 20 years now. That's my thing. I'm the troll guy. Yeah, well, the troll badger or something. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about how I bested that troll, and kind of I use this, and I pull out a little short sword, like this thing. So sharp, scamper right off. So just if you need anything, I could just be your man. Like, look at this, and being just generally kind of slightly obnoxious, but also a little bit endearing, I think. Of course, next to Barilla, I think maybe Odo doesn't look that impressive anymore. I'm not sure.
Right, so yeah, you're sitting in a group of onlookers while you're regaling them with your stories of grandeur. Let's take this chance to do our first roll, because this would be a perfect time to see if you could persuade the crowd into buying you your pies for the day.
Oh, could I maybe use awe to be
like? You probably could.
Yeah, because I even have my, let's see, I have my slightly my expensive clothes and jewelry.
Oh yeah.
I've been dressing up. I've been doing this 20 years now. This is how I get pie.
I scrolled past awe when I was looking to see what fits.
Yeah, but okay. So let's see. Because let's use my awe. I have 2 points in awe, and since it's on the line, it's favored. So I get to roll 2.
It'll do it
dice.
automatic. It should do it automatically.
Yeah, it should, right? Let's give it a roll.
We've tested it.
Oh, and also, since I have my expensive clothes and jewelry, could we make it inspired? No, never mind. Let's just make a plain roll. Let's not get too complicated. I'm gonna do like this, and let's see. Yeah, feet. Yeah, it comes up there. Okay, cool. Bloop. Oh yeah. Oof, lucky.
Oh.
So let's talk through that very quickly, like what you rolled.
Yeah. Since I got to roll 2. Why can't I remember the name of the dice?
Feet dice.
Yeah, exactly. Feet dice. This is still. I mean, I've been helping making the game, but I kind of forget these things. So yeah, I get to roll 2 feet dice since my awe score is underlined. That means it's favored, which is like I'm extra good at it. So I get to roll 2 dice and keep the best. And of course, I rolled an Eye of Sauron, which is not the best. And then I rolled a 6, so I'm gonna get to go with the 6. And then I rolled, for each dot I have here in awe, I get to roll a d6, which is like my skill dice. And I add it all together, and I want to beat my target number, which is like in the column above. So I have my awe, athletics, awareness, everything is in my beneath my strength. So my strength TN is 14. And of course, it might be worth mentioning here that in the core rules, in the alpha rules that everyone's been using, the TN should be 16, right? Because I have 4 in my strength. But we're using the rules, or this one rule from the starter set, which is basing it from 18. So 18 minus 4, which is 14, which can be good for shorter campaigns or one-shot stuff like that, where you don't have the same kind of campaign time to develop your character. And it seems I just barely made it. Oh, actually, did I roll a 6? I did.
Yeah.
No,
you rolled a 6 on your feet dice.
Oh yeah. Okay, so now I see. Yeah, this. Okay. Yeah, so since I didn't roll a 6 on my, I didn't get a Tengwar and a runes, so this is just a regular success. So I guess I make an impression at them, but not blow them away.
Yeah, so that is a success. So let's go through the dice here a little bit, just to explain what's going on, because it's a bit of a different system than what we're typically used to. And you know what? I got props. Oh. So the way that rolling works is you are always going to roll your feet dice. Even if you have no points in skills, you're always going to roll a feet dice. The feet dice is spelled F-E-A-T, not F-E-E-T, because, you know, your feet dice is a D12, and on that D12 you have the numbers from 1 to 10, and then you have 2 special symbols, one of which is the Eye of Sauron. Sorry, tape is winning today. And then the second one is the symbol for Gandalf. I'm not sure if that symbol has an actual name or not, but if you're familiar with Lord of the Rings, you know what that symbol is. Okay, so I'm not sure how well this is going to show up on camera. It might be a little bit blurry, but here is...
Oh, it's the... Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So these are the dice from the first edition. So there's the Gandalf symbol, and then there is the Eye of Sauron symbol. You can always Google them with referencing Tor 1 or 2 to get a good idea of what those are. So the way that those work is 1 to 10 typically are counted as is. They are values 1 to 10. If you are rolling your feet dice and it lands on the Eye of Sauron, like what would just happen. Why is this small? Sorry. What Martin just rolled, that counts as just a 0. Like, it doesn't add anything to your roll. If you roll a Gandalf symbol on your feet dice, it's an automatic success. So that's kind of like the ideal situation that you want. Now, for a lot of these rules, there are buts that are included, but we're not going to get into them right now. We'll address those when they become relevant, so we don't overload you with too much information. When you have points in your skill, so like Martin had 2 points in awe, he was able to roll 2 success dice. Those are called success dice, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And those are listed as 1 to 6. Now, on the 6, there is a special symbol, I think. Yeah.
It's a rune.
On the, what's it called?
It's a rune. Well, it depends on. It depends. But yes, let's just call it a rune.
Yeah, it looks like it's a stylized small T. It's very small on the dice. I'm not going to try and show it because we'll probably just hurt people's eyes trying to look at it. These things are kind of like a bonus to your success. They give you the potential to use additional skills. And if at any point I'm mucking this up, please interrupt me. We want to make sure that we get the proper information out.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah, it's like a degree of success. The more runes you know, or success items, as we call them as well, the better you succeed.
It's kind of like if you, when you're rolling those, the more d6 you roll, the more chance you have of rolling a 6 on one of those d6. And if any of them come up with that 6, then it's just you get extra good things get to happen.
Yeah.
Assuming you succeed on the roll.
Yeah, special damage is what I was looking for before. There are some cases where you can apply special damage based upon the amount of those that you have, which I think is in the alpha rules. So that is a breakdown of how his roll went. And when you're rolling to succeed, you're wanting to roll your target number and above. And Martin kind of explained what target number was based upon before. There are 2 ways that target numbers are calculated. One is if you are quickly playing a one-shot, you don't want to get into situations where you're just whiffing it back and forth. And then there's just full-blown campaigns. So one of them is based upon a base 20 target number. One is based upon a base 18. From there, you will subtract your what are they? Attribute skill from that. So in the case of Tobold, if he's doing something strength related, for our game, we would take the base of 18. He's got a strength of 2, so we would subtract that, gives us a 16. His rolls need to get 16 or higher to be able to succeed. So going at it from that level, it's a pretty easy system to get used to. It gets a little tricky when you're rolling from a lore master standpoint, because I believe the symbol is kind of reversed. So if you have a Gandalf symbol, that's bad for the adversaries, but the Eye of Sauron's good. So there's some clever little play in that. It took us a few minutes last night to figure out what was going on. It's like, why is this doing this? This should have been, no, wait. Yeah, that's how that works. So he is successful in his storytelling, and he has a few of the onlookers offer to buy him some pies for the day for the tale. So
I'm just gonna take them up on that.
You'd be foolish not to.
I guess maybe Barilla and I will just be coming up the road as he's getting to the end of his story.
You're amazed.
I think we might have heard it once before. So yeah, but we'll definitely. I mean, we're younger hobbits, so we're definitely like any chance to hear a story about from the Troll Slayer. We're gonna take an opportunity to listen to it. So we'll join the crowd. But probably won't offer to buy you a pie when somebody else, like a little bit younger than us, maybe squeaks like they'll do it for you. I'll buy you a pie.
Oh, young man, yes, that's very nice. Thank you.
All right, so the 4 of you are converging on. The 4 of you are by the pie shop, and do any of you know each other already?
I know Odo from the first time he told the troll story. And I had to go out and check to see whether there was a troll there, but I couldn't see anything. So I just had to take his word for it.
I scared it off, didn't I? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's pretty good to me. But over the years, obviously, I've known that the story's got bigger and better, and there's been a lot more. I'm still waiting for the second troll to turn up, but that hasn't happened yet. So maybe we kind of we probably know each other because we're probably similar ages. We probably grew up when we were younger hobbits. And I bought you the odd beer here and there, I guess. And it's quite good to kind of. You also whereabouts does Odo live?
I think Odo lives in Waymead, which is quite close by to Bywater. I mean, we're probably like. You're probably like my aunt's second cousin or something.
Yeah, 3 times removed.
Yeah. Sometimes we meet up and family.
Family gatherings.
Beer and,
yeah, no, that's good. I like that.
Yeah. Of course, I mean, if you ever need some help with something huge
Of course.
in the woods, I'm here.
We that sounds like a plan. So yeah, maybe we've done that once or twice.
Out looking in the woods.
I probably know of Tobold through reputation.
I'm sure we've probably had a
run-in.
A run-in, maybe. Let's say we've had one run-in before.
Yeah.
Where I was doing something slightly naughty and you caught me. And
that makes sense.
Maybe you dragged me to the sheriff's, who then just dragged me back to my parents and I got a good thrashing or something. What was it? I was probably stealing mushrooms from, Farmer Maggot's field.
Everyone knows that.
Which, is a rite of passage in the Shire.
That's true. And I guess, go ahead.
Would Barilla say that is accurate, or is there some change into that story that's happened?
I think when she saw that this was going down and Tobold was getting into trouble, she quickly ran home to tell the parents what had been happening and that he had stolen mushrooms, was already trying to sell them on the street to make a profit, and then got grabbed, and I don't know what's happening. So they were already ready to go when he got brought home to reprimand him for stealing and trying to sell without a license.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining me with like an anorak, like opening it up, and I've just got mushrooms on the inside pockets. Yeah.
And I guess maybe really, I mean, if you are, it doesn't have to be literally what you're calling it, but it's still, if you're like kind of the messenger moving around all over the Shire, maybe you're kind of known by many people, like maybe a little bit like the messenger mascot, or like, oh, there's Barilla again. Hi there.
Yeah. Everyone knows me, not too well, but they know who I am.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like it could be fun.
Mm-hmm. And I get around a lot because I never get tired.
Exactly.
All right, so while you are all standing in front of this pie shop, you start to hear some raised voices from a shop 1 or 2 doors down. And you know the shop to be the shop of the grocer in town. Does anyone have a name for what the grocer would be called?
Ardell.
How would you spell that?
Ardel.
Ardell. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm kind of creating some of these NPCs as we go in case they kind of pop up later. One of the perks of using Foundry. All right, so yeah, you hear a racket in the grocery store just down the way, and you see the door fly open, and this woman goes running out first, and quickly after the woman comes out, right on her heels is this fat rat, and following this rat is Ardal himself, running out with the broom, trying to get the rat out of there. Now, you know that this is a very odd circumstance because every time you go in there, the place is spotless. It's pristine. They keep a pretty clean shop. So having a rat run over there isn't normal. So
Clearly, I've got a job to do.
Those dirty rats. So the woman comes running out. She's screaming loudly. She's not a fan of the rats. The rat isn't really chasing her. He's just trying to get away from the broom. And then the grocer's running behind the two of them, waving his broom at the rat, yelling at it, "Get out of here, you filthy animal."
I'm gonna choke. I'm gonna choke on my pipe weed. Smoke kind of puffing around my face. That's my reaction.
Rocco's going to laugh and sort of like start to wander forward.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have another bite of pie. Be like, well, look at that. Be like slightly abusively surprised.
I'm gonna inch a little closer to get a better look at what's going on. Still staying not too far from my brother.
Yeah, so as you're looking, the grocer now is probably a good 3 or 4 meters outside of his store, and you see this little rat kind of poke its head out from the bottom of the door, look around, and scooch around the side and off into the alleyway that's beside it.
Also, quite a big one.
This was smaller than the first one.
When you say that it was a big rat, are these like giant rats, like bigger than normal? At least the one that's been chased out, or is it about like what you'd expect for a well-fed?
Is a
Specimen.
well-fed, healthy
Okay.
rat.
It's not like it's not like a rodent of unusual size.
No.
Game, wrong game.
Oh,
They don't exist. Right, got it.
Yeah.
Sorry, wrong IP.
I think my character is very inquisitive, so I'm being drawn to going into the shop.
Yeah, maybe it's
But-
full of rats. I mean, like.
So I think I'm gonna, yeah, but I still prefer the company of my brother. So kind of like Tobald, let's see where these are all coming from.
I think it's a family trait because I'm also inquisitive. So we're probably just stepping forward at the same time. Like, ooh, what's going on in there?
Hey,
Stop
Otto.
pretending. Stop pretending you know how to smoke. Let's go see what's going on.
I don't know what you mean. I love this. Oh, Toby.
Yeah, so you two move forward. You start to head towards the door, and the grocer starts to return. And you see he's red in the face, like he is mad. Like he's having a hard time catching his words. You hear him sputtering about rats and dirty, filthy, and produce and this and that. And when he gets back to his shop and inside, are you there inside already, or are you going to follow him in?
Follow him in.
Follow.
Imagine we already.
Or
Yep.
no, go on. Maybe we are. If yeah, go on.
I
can go
imagine
be
we
in
had
already.
already started working our way inside, but probably wouldn't be very far in at that point.
Maybe we're standing in the doorway, like peeking our heads.
Yeah,
in.
blocking it side by side like two little kids.
Alright, so yeah, he gets into the shop and he sees you there. And he starts to readjust his clothes, straighten his waistcoat, and kind of compose himself after his public outburst. He goes on to
Odell.
say... Sorry, what was that?
Say, Ardell, new pet?
No, it is not a new pet. Be it for me to talk bad about animals, we all know that I have my fair share at home. But rats coming in our produce is not good for business. People see that, they're not going to want to come back. If it gets too bad, I'm going to have to shut my doors. We don't want that.
How many rats you got?
He sets down his broom and gets his hand up, and you see him count. 6, 7. Kind of thinking to himself, 8, 9. Too many.
Okay.
Over the past 2 weeks, every single shipment I've had coming from the north has been ridden with rats. Half the produce is eaten by the time it gets here. I've tried to talk to the farmers up north, but they're not they're not cooperating. You know how those Northerners are.
Hmm.
Oh, being a good Southern hobbit, I'll be nodding vigorously. You don't get any rats from down where we are, down South Farthing. Sounds like
Well, that's good to hear.
disgraceful.
You find me a producer from down there, and I will kick these oat Barton farmers to the curb. I will.
Well, you're in luck. My brother actually deals in mushrooms, it turns out.
Not anymore.
Does he now?
Folco's here.
Oh, sensitive Folco's here. Sorry.
Hmm.
It's an old trade. He's left it behind. So my bad.
Hmm.
You know, I'm not getting much help from my contacts up in Oat Barton and the sheriffs, right?
The sheriffs.
Yeah, the sheriffs haven't deigned it important enough for them to spend resources to check it out. But I don't know what else I can do.
I'm gonna lean on with like a half-eaten piece of pie. Like, they'll not important enough for the sheriffs. You say that sounds like a job for Falco.
Hey,
I look
hey,
over to
hey,
my
Otto.
old friend.
Didn't you fight that troll up in the North Farthing?
Oh well, yes, I did.
They owe you a
Do you
favor.
want to hear the story again? I mean, I just
No. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, yeah, well, okay.
But what if something to do with trolls? Rats and trolls? Is there some connection there?
Is there some connection there? Well, trolls are dirty.
Hey,
Therefore, rats will be with them.
Maybe.
Barilla, you've been up to North Farthing before, haven't you?
I have, yeah. Actually, was solicited to deliver a message for a troll at one point, not directly from the troll themselves. Someone had told me the message came from a troll, and they did make mention of rats near one of their encampment, but I didn't have a good sense of if that was desirable to the trolls or not.
What are you talking about? Sounds like one of those Baggins getting you to deliver some fake.
Oh, no,
Typical. Did it come from Hobbiton?
Don't hate the messenger. Don't hate the messenger.
Hmm.
Taking advantage of my little sister. Tell me who it was later, all right? I'd throw a glance at Falco. Not that I plan on doing anything, of course.
No, it's fine. Ardell, do you want us to go and, well, do you want to go and have a look? I can drive this lot.
I mean, if you're offering you don't mind the traveling, that would be
Nah.
perfect.
It'd be good.
I mean, I see a man of your stature could probably take care of the problem for me.
Well,
That is one fancy tabard you're wearing there.
thank you, sir. Yeah, well, you know, I think, you know, we could probably take Odo. You know, he's pretty good at that, and you know, Berelia, Tobald, you can come along as well. It'd be good for you. It's character building.
Everyone knows I've got the best eyes in this shire, South Farthing.
That's true.
And I can make sure everybody knows exactly what happened.
Well, there you go. This seems to make sense. Seems like a good plan. We'll need some pies though on the way.
Yeah, we should.
Definitely.
I mean, yes, yeah. We don't want to get an empty stomach.
And so,
Oh.
what
I was going to say, sorry, Charlotte.
what can I
I'll-
offer you for this?
No. Just some produce.
Deal.
Yeah. Few free carrots here. A couple of parsnips there.
The odd mushroom.
Maybe a mushroom, a turnip. Yeah, that seems good.
Potatoes.
Potatoes. You're gonna like potatoes.
Mhm.
You know what? We've got a good load of potatoes coming in next week or two.
Oh. All right.
Well,
They're perfect for stewing.
Ooh.
I might partake.
That sounds good. That sounds really good. Okay, looks like you got yourselves a deal.
He looks at your hand and like doesn't
Or maybe
know
not.
what to do with that.
He goes, sure. Yeah, that seems like a plan. Yeah. I like that idea. Yeah.
All right, well, first, if I could be of little trouble, can you take a quick look in the shop and see if there's anything else lingering around here? The young one there said that he has the best eyes in the Shire, so might have a better chance than I to see if there's any lingering vermin.
Sure. Would you like to look for
Yeah,
him?
I can have a look around for you. For a price. You got any beetroot? Bit partial to beetroot.
Cool.
I don't know what beetroot is.
A beet? Beets? Red? It's red.
So just like a beet, not like the bottom part of a beet, just beet itself.
That's what it's called in Britain, I think. A beetroot.
I think it's the British word for beets.
Okay. Yeah, they have beets.
Americans and North Americans shortening all the words. A beet, yes.
Yes.
Beets.
Beetroots.
Yes.
Yeah. He goes and grabs a small bundle of beets or beetroot and hands it to you.
All right. I'm gonna use my keen eyes to see if there are any more rats scurrying around.
So you're going in there like with a bunch of beetroots, like your down payment.
I think I might try. I imagine I've got some sort of like belt that I can kind of like tie them around, so they're kind of like flumping against my leg.
Sure.
Or where the individual mushrooms used to be in your cloak, you can hang one beet in each little slot.
Yeah, I'm turning into some sort of wheeler dealer, Cockney black market seller. All right. Anyway, so yeah.
Although I guess that was never true. So yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
So,
so
do you want me to
I think
roll something?
Yeah, I think scan in this case would be good.
So scan is a favored skill again, so I'll be rolling 2 feet die and taking the best one dice and keeping the best one. I also have the distinctive feature of keen-eyed, but we're not getting into that just yet, because I remember Martin, you said you could have used one of yours for an inspiration kind of on the roll.
Yeah, I could have, but then you spend hope and stuff.
Yeah, that's true, and So yeah, I'm just gonna make a normal die here, normal roll here. As you can see, my wits target number is 12 because I've got a 6 in wits. I get to roll 3 success dice due to my scan level, and I'm rolling 2 feet dice because it's a favored. Is it called favored skill? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So here we go.
Not too shabby.
So I got a 15 against a target of a 12. And if we just unpack that again, if I click on that bit there, you can see it's keeping the 7 from the 2 feet dice, the higher one, and adding up the other 3 dice. So yeah, it's a success.
Yeah, I guess that's something we didn't touch on before with when you're dealing with inspiration, I think it is, or sorry, what was that called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you're
Yeah.
inspired.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're inspired and you roll 2 feet dice, you take the highest of the 2. There is a counter to that. Just gonna quickly open that up to figure out what that is called. But in a case like that, you'll take the lowest of the 2.
Yeah, that's favored and ill-favored. Then inspired
Yes.
is a different thing, but yeah, we'll get to that later maybe.
Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't look into favored ill-favored too much yesterday.
Yeah, it has something to do with hope. So we've got like if we scroll down, we all have a hope pool. We're all full of hope because we just started the game. So we can spend a point of hope to
You have to get an extra die. Then if you're inspired, which normally happens through distinctive features, but there can be other reasons as well, then you get 2 dice for each hope you spend. But of course, I mean, you could spend hope here, but maybe you won't spend hope to look for rats. So maybe saving it for the Balrog or something.
Yeah.
Troll.
And on Foundry, it looks like you would take the hope point bonus die, which takes it, and then you would click next to the inspired thing, and that just basically is showing you're spending the 1 hope point, but because you're clicking inspired, it's going to roll 2 of them, I assume. So yeah, anyway.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. anyway,
Cool.
I succeeded. So I didn't get any 6s on my success dice, so I don't get any, what were they called again? Critical? No.
Well, it's just like degrees of success.
Yeah, special
So
successes
it's-
are called.
Yeah, so it's like a regular success.
Yeah, but it's like there's a table in the first chapter of the alpha which says it has a little table for what you can spend them on. It's things like I could do it quietly, so I achieved my goal noiselessly, which anyway, or like make haste. So I narratively could say that I had done this really quickly or very quietly or something, but I didn't. So I just succeed.
Perfect. All right, so yeah, you're able to look around and you find two rats in the corner of the shop. Are you going to deal with them, or are you just going to tell him that they are there?
I'm probably just gonna try and once I find them, I'm gonna try and like shoo them out of the shop. Like shepherding them, kind of like along a wall.
That's what a shepherd looks like.
That's what a rat shepherd looks like. Have you ever seen a rat shepherd?
Yeah, you're able to get them out of the shop with no problem. And when he sees that you've gotten 2 out of there, he tosses you an apple as well.
Oh, nice. I'll just take a bite straight out of that. Nothing like clearing the pipe weed taste from your mouth like an apple.
Well, thank you for agreeing to help me with this rat problem. As soon as you have it taken care of or know what's going on, let me know. Come back and see what we need to do further with this.
Sure.
Because this is sure hurting business.
Anything to do to help.
Can I ask, when did you first see the rats? When did they first appear?
Oh, about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Good question to ask. All right.
Someone else is asking questions. That's good.
You're just here to kill the trolls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Push it
huge rats is okay as well.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Otto.
Crossover event. Surprise! It's a rat ogre.
Yeah, well,
Oh boy.
All right.
How long will it take us to get to Oatgarden from here?
Good question.
Yeah.
There is a table which I am trying to find wherever I put that.
Is there a handy
Yeah. The thing is,
scale on this map?
I mean, exactly. You can see there's a scale on the map down there. And then of course it's leagues, which is like how long is a league? Professor Tolkien, help us.
Where's the scale?
It's down by the bottom of the map, but it shouldn't be. Was
here,
it
yeah.
like early morning or like lunchtime or 11 Cs?
Yeah, about 11.
Okay.
20 leagues.
I'd say we should be able to get there by evening, like on a brisk pace, maybe. Of course, we could like cross Kashkosh country. Of course, we want to take a little nature stroll. I mean, I don't want to get I don't have boots. I'm a hobbit. Never mind. It's okay. I can get my feet wet. That's fine.
We can cross. No, we can't. We could just. No, we can't. No, we'll have to. We'll have to. We could. No. No, we'll have to go up the road and then take the north road.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah, we could take the long way around. I mean, you and I, we're not that young anymore, right? Yeah.
Speak for
Take
yourself.
the easy way.
Isn't that what's the like coming of age for a hobbit?
33.
Like
33. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, you two youngsters, I'm sure you want to be like running around on the fields. But as you get older, you want to steady up high and maybe sausage or two, and then make it slow.
sausages.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Maybe we could just like. Are we in a hurry? It could be like stop at Frogmorton and maybe stay there and have a pint, and then.
Well, it's on the way, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
Yeah,
a little
we
bit.
can go find Frogmorton. There's a really nice sausage shop there.
Oh, really? Oh,
Mm.
I haven't been for a while.
Yeah, we go to Frogmorton, then get the sausages for lunch, and then make our way back up. Yeah, that
There
makes
we
sense.
go. There we go. That's, that's a plan. That's a plan. That's what I
plan.
like about you, Falco. You have a plan. It's nice.
always have a plan.
Yeah, and younglings and kids, what do you think? Sausages? Yeah?
Sounds excellent.
Are you paying?
Sure.
Oh, Falco, yeah.
Sounds like a great plan then.
Come on then, let's make our way to Frogmorton.
All right, so you are
do we
going.
need Do Tillbold and I need to resolve that we had been sent to the pie shop to fetch pies for luncheon, and we're not going to show up back at
Oh,
home?
yes.
That's very. I mean, it would definitely be Barilla who's remembering that. Yeah, so you probably mentioned that before. Just maybe as we're like just about to set off on the road, like
We catch one of our neighbors who's heading back towards our village, or however far we've traveled, and say, hey.
There was a little crowd of younger hobbits around Odo earlier, so maybe we could I could give a beetroot to one of them to deliver the
like,
pies.
I don't want this. Okay.
And I'll give them some of my pipeweed. There we go.
The famous.
There we go. It's worth a lot of money, and
pipeweed.
it's obviously parting with it is pretty difficult for me to do. But I'll part with half of my old Toby, if they'll deliver these pies back to home.
So you're advancing from like slinging mushrooms to now weed to youngsters.
Yeah.
I'm just checking, but okay.
Oh yeah,
it's good
absolutely.
To know. Right.
And it's down in Longbottom, I guess, because that's where we're from, I guess.
Okay.
Which is quite far, really.
It's a long way to get lunch.
Well, but Bywater pies are.
Yeah.
They are special. Yeah.
It's.
Yeah.
I mean, aren't they having like a big party in Longbottom? Someone's getting married or something. They need the extra pie for the thing.
Yeah, but they don't need us. It's
something. They could get by with beetroots.
Maybe.
Someone's mum's not gonna be happy.
Yeah, maybe if they with delivering it, I promise that they'll get fed, because there's a big party going on, so there'll be an extra incentive to go on our behalf, and they can deliver a message to our mum that we're going on a special mission to help the sheriffs with a problem they've got in the North Farthing. We're gonna show them that the South Farthing, South Farthing is South Side. It's the better. South Farthing is the best Farthing.
The spirit of the sadness. Right.
Amazing.
And I guess Barilla and I will just know anyway, if we went back because of this party, we would just be doing chores the whole time. We wouldn't be allowed to enjoy it. So it's absolutely we have zero desire to go home right now. And we'd be cleaning up tomorrow as well. So yeah, and
Very
overnight.
happy to be on this adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might have to spend the night over at Outbottom.
That would
Quite
just be
possible.
terrible.
Sounds good.
Well, I mean, it might be if they're infested with rats.
I don't really get up there very often, so.
Okay, so we've dealt with our chores. we're now free to go on our adventure.
Cool. All right, so you are going from Bywater to Frogmorton to get food,
Yep.
and then back to the Northway Road to head up to Oatbarton.
Yeah.
Or are you going to take the scenic route and go through the wood furrows up to Scary, across to Brockenbors?
No, the miners, they're so weird up there. They're just,
Yeah.
walking underground. That's doesn't really. I mean, it's not, sounds kind of weird to me.
Yep.
All right,
No.
so you all gather up and agree to hit Frogmorton up for some food. For the most part, it goes rather well. You pass people along the way. They all tip their hats to you and give you greetings and well wishes. For most of the party, they tend to ignore. One person in particular tends to ignore Tillbold, kind of scowls as he goes by.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know who it is.
Farmer Maggot?
Yeah,
Hmm.
he remembers.
Mhm. And maybe
Today, sir.
he particularly doesn't like me because, like Barilla had just reminded everyone, I had managed to successfully steal mushrooms, and that's what makes him really sour, is that he didn't catch me in the act. I got away with
He
it,
knows,
and
it was
I got caught afterwards selling them.
But
And
did
he's
you?
particularly
That was my story. You actually
I like
just got
that. I
caught
like that.
stealing them. Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't sure if that was an elaborated translation.
I took it that way. I think I like that. I like that. I like that. I got away with it. Sort of.
We'll never know.
Well, he found out. He found out later that it was me when he kind of came to his like mushroom field and like half of them were not there. But yeah, so he's That's why.
So he's
That's why
in Frogmorton.
That's why he doesn't like gives me the stink eye.
Maybe he's like stacking up on sausages.
But he's passing us on the road to Frogmorton. Is that right?
Yeah, he is heading towards Bywater as you're heading towards Frogmorton. Truth be told, I don't know exactly where his farm is. But...
It's that direction,
yeah.
like near the Brandywine River,
Yeah.
I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
I
down.
think
so.
You
Stock.
can see. You can see. It's kind of hard to see, but the Overboard Marsh is kind of the cartouche is covering it up. But yeah, south of Deep Hollow. So.
South of Deep Hollow.
Yeah.
That far. eh?
Ah, so
Yeah,
like
it's quite
down
far.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Cool.
What a weird marker.
That's Matt for you.
Yeah, it reminds me of the symbol that they typically use in like anime to denote like
When you're angry.
stress and yeah.
I don't watch anime, so it didn't clock. But anyway, you can change that symbol in Foundry, but anyway, that's the default.
Yeah, so you make your way to Frogmorton with no real bother to your trip. Once you get there, where are you going? Just to find food?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, priorities, right?
Well, if we're going there for
More
lunchtime,
sausages.
then we're going to the sausage shop, or if we go to the pub, they'll probably sell the sausages in the pub from across the
Ooh.
lane with a pint. I mean,
Oh,
an entire half pint, I should say, because they don't,
Yeah.
as we know, they don't actually serve pints in the Shire.
Yeah, have quarts or something.
Yeah.
that seems like a good idea, but wait, I'm paying. Fine.
Well, I'll teach you to say yes next time.
Well, you know.
So Falco is buying the round this time around. maybe?
Indeed.
Oh, it's very nice. It's very nice. I gotta have a couple of extra sausages then.
As you enter town, you see some people lining the streets, standing out in front of their homes or shops, and there's a few of them that take note to this group of hobbits that have entered into town that seem to be traveling together, and they kind of have quizzical looks in their faces, wondering what's going on here. This is a bit of an odd mix of people to be wondering about. They don't know that anything was going on between your houses or your families, so what's the deal? You see them side-eyeing you, kind of looking, glancing, and turning back and talking to themselves, and you know that they're talking about you.
Yep. I'll just doff my hat at them. Afternoon.
And they return the gesture with a simple head nod or tipping of their hat if they have one. So yeah, you go get food. It all happens as peacefully as possible. When you are ready to get back onto the road, how long would you say you spent in the restaurant?
Longer than we should have done.
Was this our second breakfast?
No, we're on to
Luncheon.
Just
Luncheon.
Okay.
Kind of. Where should we stop for? I mean, we need to plan where like our food breaks. We can't.
It's true.
I mean, we could always like take a lunch with us to eat, like stop and eat
get
on
some
the
packed
road.
lunches.
Oh,
It's a shame we didn't
I
get
think
some, grab some pies.
I think I put a symbol on the map that I didn't mean to.
That happens.
There it is.
Maybe should we like try and stick to the fork in the road there, the Northway Road, and then just have a nice outside picnic.
That'd be good. With some
A bit of a
cheese,
break,
some,
and then
some cold sausages, some crackers. That's a good idea.
and then we just plow on through all the way to supper.
Yep. Yeah, we could do that. And then we can kind of make our way over the bridge and then up the North Road, turn left at the fork, and then it's straight onto Oban. Pretty straightforward.
Don't forget our supper break,
Well, of course.
our picnic.
Oh, I was thinking of the how do I make the thing? I mean, I've been using Founder for years, but I haven't actually done the map thing. How did I do it?
What thing?
The map thing, the angry anima symbol.
Just hold the left mouse button.
Oh wow, I've never realized
It's
that.
a-
I always
it's
keep
a-
discovering new stuff in Foundry.
That's a module actually called pings.
Oh, okay. Well, there
So
we go.
it's not in vanilla.
Yeah, we need that for my group. Anyway, how about there? I was thinking of this kind of fork in the road.
That's what I understood as well. We get to the fork and we stop and have a little picnic. Yep.
Lunch at 1. That sounds good.
I'm basically like a teenager, so I'll just eat whenever it's time to eat,
Excellent.
as long as there's.
So we
food,
can
I
get
don't
afternoon
care.
tea about there in time for dinner and supper. You know, Barton.
Perfect. This is like a solid plan.
So if we're looking at it's roughly about 1 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon now, because you had a generous break for lunch. Each square on the map is pretty much in line with the marker at the bottom, the scale at the bottom. So 1 league per square, and a league is 5.5 kilometers. Sorry, Amber.
That's fine.
Now, a walking speed of a hobbit just at leisure is about 3 miles per hour, which is about 5 kilometers an hour. So
an hour per square.
yeah.
Yeah. So we're not even going to get there by this evening. Yeah, that's fun.
I mean, we did start early, but then we kind of got
Waylaid.
Yeah, I mean, we had to eat the sausages, right?
This rate will be camping by the water.
Yeah.
I mean, by about 9 o'clock at night, you could be at the
Maybe the
the
fork.
road.
The
By the
fork.
fork in the road. If you want to set
Yeah, but that's
camp.
pretty good. I mean, we could set a camp. I'm
Yeah.
guessing you're up for it, right? Falk,
Sure.
You're like the, outsidey person.
Yeah, sure.
And I
Now,
know.
what about?
Yeah, I mean,
what about
Marilla,
this-
she's like running around, like climbing trees.
As long as I can eat along the way, I can make it from now until 9 o'clock.
Perfect.
Now, if any of you don't return home at night, is anybody going to be worried?
Nah, I'm best at trolls. No one's ever worried about.
We've told our parents that we're we're helping the sheriffs out. We might be a day or two. I guess knowing how far Oatbarton was, we wouldn't have said a day. We'd said it like we're
Yeah,
heading
that's
off to Oatbarton to prove that South Side is best side. And I kind of was deliberately saying that because I think there's a lot of pride in which farthing you come from.
Oh yeah.
And it seems to me like if you're on an opposite side, like the East Farthing people probably really don't really like the West Farthing people, and likewise there's a bit of rivalry maybe between North and South. So I think our parents would be quite proud that we're going to a couple of South Farthing tweens are gonna be going to sort out the North Farthing's problems. Like that's doing the hornblower like name good.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
So I think we've got carte blanche to take as long as we need. Maybe.
Yeah,
That's
but
what I
you
think anyway.
assume
Whether
that.
our parents actually agree with that, I have no idea.
Quite. Well, just.
I leave
you
that
know.
to Barilla to basically try and sweet talk everyone because she's good at that.
I'm down for the adventure.
So before we leave, we'll get some food for a couple of days to take us up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spend some money as well, just to get everything ready. So make some
Alright.
tomatoes.
So I'm guessing, from what I can gather from the little bit I have read, this game doesn't actually have money, does it? It's just kind of
Yeah.
you've got a type of lifestyle which you can afford stuff.
Yes, exactly. There's no counting coins. You have basically that's what you said. Like you have a lifestyle. There are treasure points, but those are a bit more abstract and are not used for like spending and getting cool stuff. It's more like used to a little bit like building up your own little lifestyle choices and being able to afford some. I mean, of course, there are some things like chainmail, for example. You do need a certain level to be able to afford chainmail, but for the most part, it's just like you use it in downtime, basically.
Treasure.
More or less, and upping your standard of living from. I mean, we're right now. I think we're all hobbits, so we're like common, which is
Yeah.
like right in the middle of the road. So if we want to get up to prosperous, we need to spend some treasure to do that.
That's cool. It just means you don't have to worry about sort of like, oh,
Yeah.
I forgot if I get any gold coins for like the meal tonight.
Yeah. And of course, it's down to our lore master to feel like how much we can spend without becoming silly. But still, I mean, we're the common normal hobbits. We can probably get a few tomatoes and sausages and some bacon. Just go out marching. I mean, that's what we do, right?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
would have whatever money you have set aside for groceries for a week or a month or however that works per the players or characters. So yeah, you get going onto the road as the sun is starting to head towards the opposite horizon now. You're aware of the darkening of the days. So you make a little bit faster time to try and get to where you want to be for the night. So as you are walking, I want to see how exactly this works. There's this fancy little table which deals with fatigue points and stuff.
Oh.
Kind of curious how this is going to play out because I didn't read anything on fatigue points. So,
And do we do anything like make rolls for traveling or moving or is that something that just happens?
I think this
Basically,
kind of...
yeah.
Go ahead.
The thing is, the travel rules are written for a different scale. So that's why in the starter set there are like little special rules for traveling in the Shire. Just some fun stuff, but you don't use the real or the actual travel rules since the Shire is too small.
That's if we wanted to go to say the Lonely Mountain.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, Low the Mountain, Mordor, those kinds of
Yeah.
places. Then we'll
Yeah.
use the travel rules.
Or
Cool.
like going from here to maybe like Bree or Rivendell.
Yeah, for sure. Rivendell and even Bree would be a short trip, but still,
Yeah.
you could use them for that. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
need 1 second here to quickly read through this.
I do like the feel of the Shire. I think I'm going to stay here forever.
Yeah, I mean, why would you ever leave? It's just so
we have
nice.
we have this like there's a special like party sheet in Foundry here as well. So if you go to the actor tab, you can see the Fellowship one.
Oh yeah.
And I've if you scroll down where it says travel, I've dropped Barilla and Tobalt into the guide and the scouts roles. But I did that because I knew what the skill sets were for both of them. That leaves like the hunter and a lookout. These are basically the 4 traveling roles that you have. Not that we're necessarily going to be using them here. It's just worth mentioning, I think, to people watching that I remember that was a big part of first edition as well when we were traveling, was like which role are you fulfilling in the fellowship while you were traveling.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so for this, I've got your little token there, not token shaped, but I got the fellowship itself added to the map. So we're going to move it up a little bit, and I want to see how I, as the War Master, can roll a single feat die.
It's DF you can do is a feat die. So just in the chat, do //r space 1DF.
That's a 5. All right, so yeah, you are making your way towards your spot where you've got picked out to camp for the night, and it's pretty much a quiet walk. It's been a pleasant stroll with nothing adventurous happening whatsoever. Just 4 happy hobbits on the road. So I'm going to get all 4 of you to roll travel.
Okay.
Because you are going to be, like, you're getting tired by this lengthy walk. So it's going to start to wear on you as the time goes on.
Oh,
and the travel roll is going to give you a chance to reduce some of that fatigue that you're going to get.
Okay.
I can go first because I have nothing in travel. I'm not a traveler.
Yeah, same
I
here.
stay put, I chase trolls, and I eat sausages. But here we go. Let's see. I mean, I could roll a gamble, which would work,
Yep.
but... Well, no.
I'll roll next because I'm in exactly the same boat. I've got no skill in travel at all.
So,
Oh.
and a 5 again.
Yep.
3 5s in a roll on that feat die.
Let me have a go.
Oh, jeez.
I swear, well, that's not good either.
Still failed.
All right, Barilla, it's all down to Barilla.
So
Well,
do I?
it's
I've
just
got my
fatigue.
character sheet open. Do I just click on the travel, which has an underline under
Yep.
it?
Yep, and then just click roll. Just keep the defaults as they are.
Okay.
The underline means it's favored, so you're rolling 2 feet.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
So,
Wow. Thanks for keeping us going.
Yeah, that's kind of fitting.
Extraordinary success.
Extraordinary
So
success.
you get those like two special successes on there. But anyway,
Yeah, I don't think those come into play for this. Yeah, I kind of picture her kind of going up and down and and just bouncing all over the place. Nothing is tiring. her
Yeah,
at all.
yeah.
Um,
Can't wait to get there. Can't wait to get there. Let's go. Let's go.
and then you turn around and you can't even see us. You're so far ahead.
Come on, come on, come on,
Too many sausages for lunch.
yeah. I'll go up ahead and stop and eat because I've worn myself out. Wait for you to catch up. I'm all ready. You guys want to eat? I've already eaten.
we just like put out the tents and like waiting, like finally.
Yeah. I need to open up somebody's character sheet quickly. So yeah, you all take 2 points of fatigue with the exception of Barilla.
So, where do I
Is-
take my
Where
fatigue
is that?
from?
Yeah.
Yeah, where's the fatigue?
Does that come off endurance?
No.
No,
We should count it out from 0. There should be a...
Don't see anywhere.
it may not be on here at this point.
Okay.
So maybe if we go
Thinking.
down to, let's go down to the fellowship. No, notes maybe at the bottom,
Mhm.
or maybe company. Just like that, you could just click in there and add.
Yeah, just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how much? So fatigue, we're taking 2 points. Apart from
True
Barilla
fatigue.
doesn't take any, right?
Correct.
Despite all that back and forth.
Cool.
How does she do it?
Just so strong.
All right, so now the way that that's going to work is you can burn off that fatigue for each prolonged rest that you take. So if you have a prolonged... what is prolonged rest?
Well, it's basically a like a proper rest.
It's like
overnight?
overnight type of thing.
Yeah, kind of. I think we've defined it exactly. I can't just remember at the moment. Let's see.
Yeah, I think I have it in here. Not
It's just quiet. Everyone's like looking.
We're all looking it up. A bit
I'm
control
not
F.
looking at anything.
Well, entertain everyone else.
So it's
while
on
we
in the
are.
alpha. It's on page 71. It talks about resting, and under prolonged rest, it says, under normal circumstances, the company is allowed to take a single prolonged rest each day, usually a night's sleep. The lore master may allow the group to take more than one prolonged rest if the player heroes are recovering in a safe and comfortable place. And then it just says, we recover all lost endurance points when we take a prolonged rest, or a number of endurance points equal to their strength score if their wounded box is checked.
And even a short rest would cover our meager 2 fatigue points.
Short rest, yeah.
Would it?
Yeah, since we only have 2 and we have even Tobold has 2 strength, right?
Yeah, I've got 2 strength, yeah.
So it does come off our endurance then.
No, this is endurance. We're looking at the wrong thing. Fatigue is different.
New rules.
They will get rid of it. They will get rid of it at the rate of 1 point of fatigue for each following prolonged rest they take in a shelter and safe refuge. So yeah, we get rid of 1 fatigue every time we take a prolonged rest.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then
I'm just looking at the time. It's gone 11 o'clock, which is the kind of 2-hour mark. So if we can maybe just wrap up with a
yeah.
Cool.
I was also
Yeah,
just
so-
go to sleep.
Fatigue in the glossary. Players accumulate fatigue when on a journey. Fatigue raises a hero's load total temporarily, making it easier for them to become weary.
so
So then-
it adds to load. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Cool.
so each weapon, each armor has a load value to it, which weighs down on your character itself
So-
like, physically.
Fatigue
Like
is actually
encumbrance.
there on load. If you look at resources load,
Oh,
it
they
says
call
I
it
see.
Travel load.
Travel load. Okay, cool.
So let's
go.
just
just add that 2
that's
to
a
there.
strange.
Okay, cool. Excellent. I like that.
It's a beta version. It hasn't been updated for 2
Yeah.
weeks, so
Yeah. I mean,
I suspect that's why.
for 2 weeks, horrible.
I know it's
Cool.
scandalous.
I quite like that.
Feeling-
'Cause it's a good way of doing that. So the longer you travel, the more you kind of like weigh down. It's harder. So presumably that would also then, I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
We can mention also that if load ever, it's basically you have endurance and load, and if endurance ever goes lower than your load, then you're weary.
Okay, nice. Well, that's cool.
Well-
So fatigue adds to what you're carrying, and if your your
Yeah.
endurance, okay, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that. Cool.
All right, so yeah, you're setting up camp for the night. I want to quickly think back to how we do things in Forbidden Lands, but it's not that kind of game. Same company, different game. I'm assuming that everyone kind of just falls in, gets their own areas set up. They get a fire going.
It's nice. It's the Shire. It's a nice evening. You've got your fire. You've got sausages on the fire. You've got a couple of bedrolls out. You don't have any tents. Doesn't rain.
No,
We're not yet in the North Farthing, so that's good as well. We're still in the civilized.
Good as well.
We're still in the civilized part of the Shire.
No tagging stuff.
No.
Tobold was here.
Don't know what you mean.
All right, so yeah, I guess with that, it leaves us at a perfect spot to kind of stop it for the session.
Cool.
We did have a little bit slow going, getting stuff figured out and getting our intros done. So next session, we will be able to jump into it a little bit quicker and make some good time on this road up to Oakbarton.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Cool.
Should be interesting.
Cool.
Thanks very much, Charlotte.
Cheers,
Yeah,
Charlotte.
thank you.
Thank you.
Just quickly before we go, if you haven't already, hitting subscribe. Yeah, I'm just trying to remember. Is it subscribe on YouTube? I'm not looking at it right now. It is, isn't it? If you could subscribe to the channel, that doesn't sound good at all. and hit the
follow,
like
subscribe.
button. Yeah, and hit the like button. That really does help the channel to grow, even though I have no idea what the terms are called anymore somehow. And yeah, we're going to be back in 2 weeks playing the next session of this. The music you can hear kind of bouncing away in the background is by Andrea Lundström, which is another kind of podcast / YouTube streamer with Sweden Rolls, and he does a lot of music, and I asked him if he had any music we could use for this, and he basically sent me a bunch of tracks. So this isn't official music or anything for the game, but yeah, I had some people asking. I've linked his some of his stuff down in the description, so I just want to give him a shout out and a thanks as well. And that's us. So thank you very much, and please join us in 2 weeks. If you want to find out where to follow, if you haven't seen it already, all of the links to the social media are also in the description below. Discord is probably the best place to go to catch us and to chat with us, because I guess almost all of us are very active in Discord. I check that daily. I know a lot of other people do too. So that's us. Thanks so much again, and catch you in 2 weeks.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. That was
Thank
fun.
you.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Bye bye.